Driving into Tulsa on Thursday night, I saw some of your neighbors, or perhaps it was some of you, getting an early start to this July 4th holiday. Coming from the east, nearing the city limits, I saw just off to the left side of the road, over what I think was probably a neighborhood, some fireworks exploding in the sky. They didn't go very high, just barely cleared the trees in my line of sight, and the lights didn't really take up very much of the sky. But as the darkness settled in, I could still see very clearly 3 or 4 bright gold explosions. They were all gold. I think someone was practicing for tonight's festivities, or maybe they had some friends over and just couldn't wait any longer to explode some fireworks. I tried to take it as the city offering me a personal welcome as I neared your wonderful town. But I've visited before, and I know that doesn't happen. Regardless, it was a great way to enter Tulsa on this holiday weekend, one in which I have the wonderfully good fortune of spending Sunday morning with you. Fireworks are always a great welcome. They reminded me of past 4th of July celebrations and the fireworks and the people, of one holiday weekend on Lake Michigan in Chicago. We were well south of the downtown fireworks show, but they were still quite glorious to view. We joined many of our neighbors in watching the fireworks, people we had never met, but neighbors nonetheless, one of whom brought a radio so that we could listen to the live symphony playing classical music near the park where the fireworks were going off. We were too far away, way too far away, to hear the music in person, but they were broadcasting it on the radio. And thanks to our generous, anonymous neighbor and his communal boombox, we all got to listen. These Tulsa fireworks also reminded me of 4th of July celebrations in my father's hometown, Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, which is a tiny town near Pittsburgh, where the day features a small town but large-scale parade with marching bands and veterans and kids and costumes. The parade is so popular, such an authentic display of small-town Americana, that it sometimes receives national press. CNN will actually go cover this parade. And people chain their chairs to light posts weeks in advance along the parade route so that they'll be sure to have a good viewing spot. It's been known to see, you can see a few couches some years as well. People really get into this. When it's dark, the fireworks take up the night sky as everyone in the town stands in their yards or on their porches or in parks or in the street to watch the lights explode and then fade away against that endless, eternal darkness. In those settings, and in ones that you're familiar with as well, the images are very easy to recall. People with their heads turned up to the sky, enchanted with the stars of our own making against those of creation. People representing all of creation's diversity, standing together before that which sustains and upholds us, and witnessing with childlike wonder the magic and light and sound and spectacle. Children pointing with open-mouthed glee at the colors and schemes of fireworks above, and adults smiling more subtly at the joy around them, but perhaps lost in their own memories of childhood displays. It seems prayerful, doesn't it? All those heads turned up to the heavens with feelings of joy and exhilaration. Even the loud booms that startle the heart seem at place here, as any experience of heaven should be startling, should be different, noteworthy, should quicken the heart and stir the spirit. The sense of wonder is prayerful, of anticipation as well. And the community or the congregation, resting as one beneath the mystery and beauty of it all, moved often to respond with a simple eloquence of ooh, ah. No truth ever uttered by any learned one who considers matters of belief and wisdom is more profound when really witnessing the glories of creation than ooh and ah. It's that oneness that has always moved me, that sense of people coming together from many different walks of life to be uniquely but similarly enchanted with the beauty and power of the night sky and the adornments we briefly place within it. It's that oneness that has always enchanted me within those settings, a unity only made possible because of the community that comes together to witness the magic. We are many, indeed, We live different lives in different manners with different values, but before the splendor of those displays, we are one in wonder. We are, however briefly, united by wonder. E pluribus unum, the phrase found on the seal of the United States. E pluribus unum, which is Latin for out of many, one. E pluribus unum, out of many, one, enlivened at those times when the many stand as one before that which sustains and upholds us with little more than wonder and joy. It's difficult to live in the spirit of that oneness all the time, however, which is why the 4th of July can be so meaningful. The true value of the holiday is in its ability to bring us together in gratitude for the gifts we have been given, as well as for the work we still have yet to do. For America is both glorious and unfinished. The aspirations under which the country was formed were so high that we are still trying to live up to them. The food and picnics, fireworks and parties of this weekend are great and wonderful, but the celebration is not just about the birth of our country. It's about how the holiday invites us to recall the ideals behind the birth of our country. The founding concept of this nation was that all are created equal and endowed with the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This was a radical position, a radical notion for any ruling body to proclaim centuries ago, and one that, from its first utterances by revolutionary thinkers and leaders, positioned our emerging nation in comparison to ideals that it would seemingly forever struggle to meet. For no sooner had the founders of the nation expressed those sentiments of radical equality and used them to fuel a successful revolution than the country, once formed, began trying to actually live up to those ideals. And the history of our country ever since has been a slow, often bloody, often deadly, often frustrating, but undeniably successful, gradual realization of what it means for everyone to be created equal. That's how powerful that idea was and is. That notion that everyone is created equal still continues to transform America into a land where that may one day be reflected in how we live with and among each other. Langston Hughes, the great poet that Deborah and I referred to earlier, one of America's greatest poets, made that claim in this morning's reading, that the dream of America is still unfolding in the lives of those who have yet to receive its blessing. He paints a picture of the idea or ideal of America as the embodiment of those great values that formed our country, but then holds up the experiences of those who are oppressed and maligned and mistreated and refuse the world in which those ideals of equality and freedom are made real. And in that, we see how far we've come and how far we have yet to go. He is like Howard Zinn, the great historian who died just this past year in January. Zinn was well known for writing A People's History of the United States, a wonderful alternative history textbook that tells the stories of American history from the perspectives of those often left out: people of color, women, Native Americans, immigrants, union workers, etc. Langston Hughes gives voice to underrepresented people in his poem in much the same way that Zinn does in his history book. And the results are pictures not simply of the American dream or of those who've achieved it, but of our land as one in which that dream is yet to be realized in the lives of many. They both honor not just the promise of America or the progress, but they honor the struggle for equality itself by holding up with reverence the experiences of those whose stories are often left untold. They hold up the unity and equality expressed in the values of our country against the reality of life for many, and in doing so, challenge everyone to continue working to realize the dream of America for everyone.